All right, so we've got a game to play. Sheth versus White Raw. Like you said, the Manor Bear versus Manor itself. What kind of predictions do you have, Kev, going into this series?
It's going to be tough. I mean, I love both these guys, and I really, really hate to predict against MrBitter because I love him. He even gave me one of his autographed mouse pads, and that made me so happy. That made my Protoss fanboy heart happy. But Ben, I don't see how you can beat Zerg right now. Nah, in all honesty, I just think Sheth is going to take it. Sheth has been playing quite well over a certain amount of time, and I really like his ZVP, so I'm going with Sheth.
Yeah, I think I really agree with you majorly. We got to hang out with White Raw a lot during the Lone Star Clash, and that's really the biggest thing that influences my opinion on this matchup, because White Raw was really expressing some serious frustration with the PvZ matchup. So unless he has made some revelation between then and now, and it's only been
barely a month.
Yeah, has it even been a month?
No, I don't think so.
I think he's going to struggle here. So I also agree. I think Sheth is going to take this series.
We'll see, Ben. You're one up on me in the predictions so far, so I have to do some catching up today, but I've got a good feeling about this, man. I've made some awesome predictions. Anyway,
we disagree on 2 games today.
Yeah, I like it. Anyway, guys, before we really start things in, this was the only match today that is not being played live. Obviously, it's quite hard to force White Raw to play so late. It's in Ukraine. It's plus 10 hours from here. So this is the only best of 3 that we have that are going to be replaced. Hopefully Puzzle shows up though, because Puzzle versus Mora, what's supposed to be... Oh, he did is something that my producer just whispered in my ear. Ben, I'm happy. Today is going to be awesome. 3 live matches. That's a record as well.
Yeah, well, we say live matches, but if Puzzle's on right now and Mora's on right now, they might play, and we may end up casting that one from replay. We'll see how it pans out, but I'm very excited because those guys are all ready to go, man. I'm also really eager to see Targa play today. He's a big kind of a question mark for me.
And I've had a ton of fun with him. Anyway, focusing on this match, guys. Sheth is, of course, our lovely purple Zerg spawning on the right top side of this map. And White Raw, who doesn't love White Raw? If you don't love White Raw, you just do not have a heart.
You don't love life.
Yes, you don't love
life. You don't love...
You're a very bitter or dark person. White Raw is, of course, our lovely red Protoss spawning in the left bottom side of this map, representing Ukraine and Thermal Take.
I think, I wonder if our producer likes White Raw today. He's kind of in a crabby mood.
Everybody's in a crabby mood today.
He's like...
Besides you were pretty happy.
I'm always happy, bro.
You know, it seems like avoiding to play StarCraft on the day you have to cast is such a smart idea.
I think really we should do that, because like yesterday, I was in such a crummy mood, but it didn't matter because I wasn't broadcasting. Because I played some really bad ladder games yesterday too.
I'm fine, I know. I couldn't help it. My race is very weak, and I love lag. I'm just kidding, guys. We saw White Raw, of course, going for the Nexus first, followed up with a Forge, and then a Gateway. So a very, very economic opening from White Raw. And Ben, one thing that surprised me a little bit, White Raw did not even scout. Didn't bother trying... Oh, actually, he does have a probe in the map, sorry. But he didn't really bother dropping a pile and trying to delay this base.
Yeah, he just kind of let it go up, and I guess he's maybe reevaluated the worth of doing something like that. It does mean that he's got his gateway and his cannon up nice and fast. His Nexus is already done, so...
And you know, I've actually been thinking a lot this myself, and I really feel that Zergs just got so much better at handling this. Like in the start, they would pull some probes straight away, or drones straight away, or then just like make too many links. And right now, I feel that everything just makes perfect sense. They just expand here straight away, and then the first links, they take out this pylon, and then they expand here. And what do you really delay at 30 seconds? Is that worth 100 minerals? I'm really starting to doubt it, and apparently so does White Raw.
Yeah, so what he does do is invest that 100 minerals in a pretty fast Zealot, and it's already marching out to the ramp where he's going to meet these Zerglings, or would have met these Zerglings had they walked up the ramp.
White Raw does not want to have Zerglings in his space.
No.
This happened once on probably the worst ladder map we've ever seen. I forgot what it's called, but it had a huge open area space in the middle of the map, and there was absolutely nothing to do over there. 4-player map.
Oh yeah, Slag Pits.
Yeah, Slag Pits.
God, that was the worst map I've ever seen,
yeah,
man. The first game I lost on the Korean server was on Slag Pits to a Terran.
That was the only reason why you lost?
No, it was I lost because the Korean server is really hard.
Everybody feels like
it was
I'm
a Terran
MVP.
player in Platinum League.
Like, wow, this guy's good, man. Sheth is just boosting out as many actually, he's making quite a few links right now. That's surprising. He already has 4 links, so he's going to have 14 links on the map. I wonder why. Maybe he's a little bit worried about that single circling. And look at this, man. Once more, White Raw going for that ridiculously quick 3 base.
This is the fastest 3rd base that I've ever seen. I've seen him get it around 8 before.
Yes.
This is ridiculous. A 6-minute 3rd. Now the choice to skip that pylon makes a little bit more sense. We can see that White Raw is really choosing to invest his money completely in his economy. Zealots are going to get surrounded by these Zerglings, Kev.
Yeah, he did take out quite a few links. We have a single Stalker here as well. Look at the production tab, by the way, guys. 10 drones on the way right now for Sheth. White Raw should be careful.
White Raw is ahead in workers right now.
You do not want to end up losing. Yeah, Sheth made quite a few links. You do not want to end up losing a Stalker. Losing a Zealot or even 2 Zealots, that's okay. Stalkers are just expensive and they're very useful throughout the course of the entire game, so White Raw be careful. But as we can see, he is careful, picked up a few links. And Ben, really what is worth mentioning is that Sheth did not have a single Zergling over here, so as far as I know, he's still completely unaware of this ridiculously quick third base from White Raw.
He has no idea. He's completely in the dark on this third base. White Raw, man, I think he dropped that expansion before he got that Stalker out. That is so, I don't know what to say, but I mean, I suppose there's little risk to him as Sheth, doesn't have Zergling speed, doesn't really have the capacity to make any units. For the time being, White Raw is safe, but can he really hope to hold this through the course of the mid-game?
Since there is no Zergling speed, I actually think he's going to be more than fine, because this basically puts us in the same scenario as we saw yesterday, or the day before, guys, I'm sorry, with Xlav against TLO, where TLO did scout it pretty quick, but Xlav just went super defensive with a ton of sentries, got those Immortals out as well, and with good force fields and very, very good army positioning, he was able to protect his third base without too many problems, and also be able to hold this ramp over here. And I feel Sheth still being unaware of this. Just now he's actually going to scout this.
And he's like, wait a second.
Yeah. I think this is too late to do something about it right now. What I would like to see Sheth do is exactly what Vibe did. Just get a ton of drones. And look at the production tab,
12 drones.
Exactly what he does.
Still no fourth base having been started for Sheth, but it looks like that's going to be his plan. His layer's also finishing up. And while Sheth doesn't have a fourth base down, he does have a fourth hatchery. So that macro hatch is coming up. So I agree with you, Kev. I think Sheth's making a great read here.
And guys, the funny thing is right now, whenever you're observing a game like this, it's always like, okay, well, this is actually quite easy for White Raw. There's nothing really going on. He doesn't have to be afraid of anything, so he should just chrono boost out as many probes as possible and get his stack going. However, when you're the player in this phase of the game, it's actually really hard. You have no idea what's going on. He has absolutely zero map vision. So if you see White Raw making a few more cannons than you think is necessary, that's just because he doesn't know. It's so much easier when Fog of War is up.
He's playing completely blind. He is sending out a probe, and he's actually sending this probe to the fourth base of Sheth. And this is a brilliant scout, because it's going to tell him whether or not Sheth is going to try to punish his third with aggression, or if he's going to punish the third with another expansion.
I think he is going to try to punish it. However, Sheth has a better economy than TLO had. TLO was around 51, 52 drones. Sheth is up to 68. So even if this fails, I wouldn't say that Sheth is necessarily out of it, unless he just doesn't have the gas anymore to tack off. This is going to be super interesting. And man, am I looking forward to the army positioning of White Raw. Are his force fields going to be as good as, for instance, Xlav did it?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. He's got a lot of sentries, so even if the first force field's not right, he's got plenty more behind it. White Raw knows that Sheth hasn't taken this bottom right fourth base, so...
71 probes, 11 minutes in game. That's probably a record.
I really love the... man, that is pretty impressive. I love the building placement of White Raw. He's made a great wall outside. Look at all the gateways he has. How many gateways is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. 7, 8, 9?
He groups all gates together, man, so it's kind of easy to count. Sheth is just going massive on the roaches right now. 18 more roaches in production. This is the first real attack from Sheth. Actually, why do you not have a single sentry there?
Yeah, he does finally get a sentry there and drops a force field. And with some okay micro on that Immortal, White Raw is going to hold this with little issue, man. Well, 3 roaches will start killing some probes. That's a little bit annoying, but White Raw, even on top of that, warping in units in good positions. And this attack from Sheth is not going to get much done now. The counter into the natural could be another story.
Yep, a lot of Zerglings right now. White Raw not paying attention, no map awareness, still not whopping anything in. Oh, if those Zerglings run up the ramp, it's going to be super annoying.
Oh, but he's going to fight the cannon. I think that might be the wrong choice, as White Raw does get a chance to warp in a couple of units. This will buy him time to get his army back.
Sheth is coming back already as well on the north side.
And yeah, the warp-in will deal with the roaches in the natural. A couple lings up in the main may get some probe kills. And at the same time, Sheth still being aggressive in this third base. Great multi-pronged aggression by Sheth for sure. He's attacking at 3 places right now.
Yep. White Raw, I wouldn't really say is falling apart, but he is taking a lot of losses. However, I think within a minute or so, he should be able to stabilize.
Oh, he's absolutely going to stabilize. Sheth still hasn't taken a fourth base. Oh, but look at all these roaches coming through the middle of the map, Kev. 185 supply for Sheth.
Wow.
And now White Raw kind of has his back up against the wall.
There are 45 roaches on the map right now, only 11 stalkers. Careful with those immortals, White Raw. You're going to need to put them a little bit more back. One immortal is going to fall, however, he's going to pick up quite a few roaches, but Sheth is relentless with his aggression.
Absolutely, he just refuses to stop attacking. This is something that we see out of players like Stefano, just never stopping once the aggression starts. Blink is done though. Now White Raw's able to blink forward on top of those roaches. He can leave his immortals back in his natural, and the blink stalkers alone are going to be able to clean up the third base. Immortals do come back. Roaches starting to try to bust their way down into this natural expand. White Raw's really doing a good job of splitting up his army.
Yeah, but still, these roach numbers are a little bit too high right now. If he had those cannons, he would have been okay. Smart warping in those zealots.
Third immortal pops out, but he needs to get involved in this fight.
Where are the stalkers?
They're in the third. Yeah, White Raw's lost a lot of probes in that third, by the way. He's down to 25 workers lost.
Wow, so many roaches right now. One-shotting that first immortal. Second immortal will fall. This last immortal is going to fall as well. However, that does mean that Sheth is going to end up losing all these roaches. Man, what an amazing action-packed game so far.
Absolutely. Sheth just refused. White Raw, you go blink forward, man. You need to kill these roaches. Now he does. And Sheth's still out in the middle. What was this force field, like, dude? I saw that.
Such a cool force field by White Raw. We have the Artosis Pilot, now we have the White Raw force field. The White Raw is wiping in more cannons. He is 50 supply down. However, with Blink, it should be a little bit easier to deal with these roaches. The roach count is dwindling. 28 right now against 19 stalkers. I think White Raw is going to be fine.
I think so, Kevin. As we can see right now, 150 supply to 112. Sheth still with the supply lead.
No forward blink right now, White Raw. White Raw's probably just going to...
probably wants to blink away, and that's exactly what he will do. But falling back to his game, White Raw's lost a lot of gates. He's down to just 5 gates, so his production is a little bit limited now. He's lost some ability to produce units, but we can see him replacing those gates right now. And finally, Sheth decides to take a 4th base, but White Raw's got a pylon there.
Yeah. White Raw is still down 60 supply, but what I really loved about White Raw's play, man, of course he was going to lose some probes. That was almost inevitable. It was really, really hard to defend that perfectly. However, he was still building probe during that attack, and he's still up to 58, despite losing 30 probes so far.
Yeah, income tab is very, very close right now, as we see another fight taking shape in this 3rd base. The roaches, you know, they're still very, very scary, but they're not being as effective as they were in the early stages of the mid game. White Raw's reaching that point of almost stability. We see warp in on Sheth's new base as Sheth again coming forward up this ramp into the natural, surrounds and kills another immortal. But
this actually, White Raw's taking some really expensive losses over here. Now he's going to be forced to use those units from the north side. This was perfect for Sheth. White Raw once more not dropping force fields in time, and Sheth is dealing a ton of damage right now.
Yeah, he absolutely is doing some good damage, but it's the units that are dying. The economy of White Raw still intact. He's hanging in there. Sheth is maxed, though. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, and also the most scary thing right now is the tunneling claws. And Burrow are finally almost ready. Roaches have +2 now as well. White Raw still at 1-1. Ooh, White Raw might actually end up losing this Nexus, but then again, how many roaches is Sheth going to lose?
The Nexus is going to fall. Will Sheth be able to get out of there, though, with these units? I don't think that he can. While all this has been happening, White Raw did cancel that 4th base of Sheth's, guys.
I showed it, then.
Man, all these roaches will be peeled away. Good micro by White Raw, but he just can't seem to get any supply going. He's just hovering at 120, whereas Sheth is staying pretty much maxed. And without this 3rd base, I don't know that White Raw is going to be able to maintain what production he did have.
These zealots actually continue to be annoying right now on the right side of the map, finally forcing Sheth to defend a little bit as well. Wow, Ben, this almost reminds me of actually watching Korean games. You remember watching Stefano versus Paul?
Yeah.
That was like, man, this is so cool. Finally, 2 guys who are fighting for 5, 6, 7 minutes on a row. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now. Really entertaining game.
Really sick ZVP unfolding right here. White Raw just really says, all right, I'm going to take my 3rd at 6 minutes. Oh, there's a roach burrowed in the back of that 3rd base, by the way. He might get some kills later on. And Sheth saying, all right, I'm going to try to punish it. White Raw finally feeling confident enough to push out into the center of the map. Aggressive blink.
You know what I would really love to see? Oh, White Raw actually went for 1-2 on his Stalkers. That's very surprising. Instead of 2-1.
Right. I wonder why.
Yeah, me too. This is something I haven't seen that much. Once more forcing a cancel on that hatch. However, he does end up losing those 4 zealots and the warp-in pylon. So, minor victory for White Raw, but not more than that.
Well, White Raw just kind of sharking around the middle of the map right now. He's got another pylon pretty close to that 4th expansion location. So
this is the White Raw moment. There's a roach.
There's a roach in the back of my 3rd base.
I do not understand.
How did he get here?
I have a wall. I have many cannons. That makes no sense. 3 infestors on the way right now for Sheth. White Raw would be a really awesome moment. Oh, he's not mining from this simulator. Seems like the pressure did get to him just a little bit. I would love to see a robotics babe, and getting those Colossus out right now, that would actually put White Raw in a really good spot 60 seconds from now on, but I'm not sure if he's going to do it. I'm not sure if Sheth is going to give him the time at the first place.
Sheth does find that other warp in pylon, so finally he'll be able to get his 4th base up unaccosted. White Raw's ability to deny Sheth's 3rd or 4th for so long has really kept this game close.
Definitely.
Had Sheth been able to get that 4th base and do the whole 100 drone thing that he likes to do so much, I don't know that White Raw would still be in this game, but because it's been basically 3 base to 3 base, White Raw has stuck around. Now he's up to about 160 supply, and his army is
scary.
Is serious right now.
Yeah, but then again, all those sentries, they always love to clump up. Sentries are like one happy family, man. They walk hunt in hunt, basically hand in hand. And Fungal Grove is so effective against them. So if White Raw ends up losing all those sentries, it might still be kind of scary, despite this being a really scary Protoss army right now.
There are Hydras being added to this Zerg army as well, and they do tons and tons of damage. A little bit of a fight starting to try and take shape. Aggressive blink by White Raw. He's going to make his way up this ramp. Here come the Forcers. Good Fungal on top of those Stalkers, but White Raw's already got a good position, and Sheth realizes that he can't fight right there. Is forced to cancel that hatchery. And now he's going to threaten the counter.
Yeah, which I actually think is a little bit, which I think is actually kind of smart. Then actually he's returning right now because he wants to fight on creep. White Raw is quite far on creep right now. There are so many sentries though.
I don't know that this is an army that Sheth can really fight, Kev. Here we go. White Raw is going to pick a fight. Lots of great force fields going down, really zoning out that Zerg army. Sheth has to disengage. 170 supply for the Zerg, 170 for the Protoss. Very tense, close moment right now. Reinforcements arriving. White Raw starting to pull ahead.
Slowly but steady. He's going to lose a lot of sentries right now. Where are all those Hydras? How many do we have? We have 16 Hydras then, but I don't see them.
I don't know where they are either. I think they're back in Sheth's natural. They're all making their way across. They are very slow after all. And Sheth plummeting down to 100 supply against the 140 of White Raw. I think maybe White Raw has done it with a ridiculous 6-minute 3rd base. He's going to push into the 3rd base of Sheth now. And Sheth is not going to be able to muster a defense, Kevin.
If this is the future of PvZ, Ben, I don't care how many games I lose. This is awesome. This has been a really, really entertaining game. And now somehow White Raw goes up 50 supply, continually denying that 4th base of Sheth. Sheth is going to try to make a final hold with all these drones.
Yes, he is. Drone's going to try to soak up some damage while the Hydras do work. Transfusion going down as well, but it's not enough. GG comes out of Sheth. White Raw holds. And
White Raw holds. That has never been more true.
He holds and he holds and he holds, and finally he stabilizes enough to get aggressive, and Sheth did not have an answer. What an epic, absolutely incredible game from Sheth versus White Raw. That game was brought to you guys by Epson Projectors, by the way.
I'm actually really a little bit stunned, and I don't really know what to say, because I felt that Sheth did pretty much everything right. He went up to 68 drones. He had the 3 bases. Then he went for it. He split up his army. A couple of times he did catch White Raw off guard. What I love from White Raw is that he didn't go easy on the cannons. Often you think like, okay, I'm going to have to try to get as many units out right now as possible. While cannons is often the thing that you really want, because run-bys are always going to happen. Just a couple of roaches is always going to happen. And those cannons, they're such a nice thing to fall back on.
They really, they set the entire foundation for that whole defense. All of White Raw's building placement was critical. I mean, think of how much damage Sheth did to buildings versus doing that damage to units, right? If every time those roaches had shot a volley at a gateway that had instead been a line of stalkers, no way does White Raw ever hold there. He was just negating damage and dealing damage back and defending immaculately. So incredible play by White Raw in game number 1. Means we're going to go into game number 2 in just a second. But first, guys, we'll play a short commercial. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 of Sheth versus White Raw coming right up.